Hello, my name is Shane Krause. I'm a clarinetist and saxophonist in Victoria, Canada. I just wanted to do a quick review for you of the Bakun Vocalise, a couple of Bakun Vocalise mouthpieces, which I'm currently trying out. I'm currently working on some solo clarinet music, which I'm planning on uploading to YouTube once I feel it's at a performance state. I had largely been focusing on baritone saxophone and bass clarinet for a while, and one day I just started getting the urge to play B-flat clarinet again. So I pulled it out and was enjoying it, but I felt like I was fighting my mouthpiece. I went through the proverbial shoebox of mouthpieces that I have. I came back to what I had been playing with before, but I knew that it wasn't doing quite what I wanted it to do. It's a Grabner K14. It's about 11 or 12 years old. It's been my main clarinet mouthpiece for a while. Though I have not been playing much B-flat clarinet for a pretty fair chunk of that period of time. So I had heard that Bakun had some more affordable mouthpieces. I had tried some of their high-end mouthpieces about 10 years ago. I really liked them, but they were beyond what I could manage in terms of price at the time. But they now have the Vocalise line. I tend to play a pretty large tip opening, so I went with two that are large. They list as large. They have a small, a medium, a large. They now have a very large, but I didn't think that was what I was going to want. And the Vocalise CG. I'll explain a little more, but the Vocalise H, which is their large mouthpiece, it's a synthetic material, but it's very similar in sound to a hard rubber mouthpiece. I like it a lot. The CG for Corrado Giuffretti, the Italian clarinetist who works with them on this and the crystal mouthpieces. The Vocalise is built to mimic in appearance and in sound crystal mouthpiece, and I feel like it does it very well. I've owned as an older Selmer B-flat clarinet crystal mouthpiece, which I liked a lot, and I've played a couple. I still own a couple of Pomarico crystal bass clarinet mouthpieces, which both end up in the rotation of what the mouthpieces that I'm playing at different times, depending on what I'm looking for in terms of sound and feel. I'll play a little bit on the Grabner. I may have been saying Lomax the whole time. It's a Grabner if I've been saying Lomax. I'll play a little bit on the Grabner so you can hear a bit of the sound. both, if I felt like I had the money to keep both of the Bakuns, I would. I don't think I can justify it at this time. I'll play the CG a little bit. This is the one that I'm not going to go with. Again, I think they do different things despite being pretty similar in tip opening. They have pretty different sounds and feels. The CG is more resistant. I feel like you need to push it a bit more. It doesn't resonate quite so easy, but in the top end, it feels really nice and round, but it takes a bit more work. It feels like it's a lot easier to do a lot of things with. You need to push it hard, but a lot of the notes feel much more stable. It feels like they speak really quickly and easily, and they don't break up easily. I feel like, since I haven't been playing a ton of B flat clarinet before maybe the last 6 weeks, my embouchure is not quite what it has been at times, and it's definitely been a bit squeaky at times. This has definitely made it much easier. The notes are much more stable for sure. I do think this reed is just not a very good altissimo reed, but I will stick with it just to be fair to all of the mouthpieces. The one that I am, unless I change my mind again, because I have waffled a little bit, the one that I am going to keep is the Bakun Vocalise H, which is their large, not the extra large, the large, and it feels, both this and the CG feel like you can put a lot of air into them, and the tone stays pretty stable. It doesn't spread unpleasantly. You can make it spread, but it doesn't do that on its own easily. It also feels like both of them, the pitch doesn't distort as much when you go very loud or very quiet, as most mouthpieces that I've played do. It's really nice around the break, the lower clarion. and across the break into the throat tones. It's really even across, more so than I think any mouthpiece I've tried. The only comparable one besides the expensive Bakuns, which I don't believe are actually making anymore due to the lack of blanks that were coming from Zinner in Germany, would be the Theowane mouthpiece, which I liked a lot, but which is, I think, about 4 times as much money as this one, or the CG. This is, I believe it's 185 Canadian. I should have checked before I started recording, but it's around 185, 190, somewhere in there. And the CG was, I think it was 210 or 220 Canadian, somewhere in there. And right now they're actually on 10% off. But I really, really have enjoyed these mouthpieces. Like I've said, I would prefer to keep both of them but the choice can be dangerous too. At some point I need to pick one and work with it. But this mouthpiece, I both of them I like a lot, but I think this is the winner for me. I feel like it will be able to put out the volume I need to play with drummers or amplified instruments, and they play extremely quiet very easily. And both of them do it quite well. I think this one does it a little bit better. But some of the pieces that I'm working on right now have some extremely quiet sections, if not large chunks of the piece. The James Tenney Seeger song for clarinet is largely in the maybe quadruple piano, maybe just triple piano to piano range with a little bit of mezzo forte and forte in there, but this is the Grabner. It's doing very well with this reed, and maybe I'm just well warmed up, but it hasn't been this easy. Yeah, it is harder. It is harder to get it to pop right into the tone of when playing extremely quietly, whereas the Bakuns definitely, they speak very, very easily at those extremely quiet volumes, even despite the fact that they are also quite open compared to most classical clarinet mouthpieces. A lot less air sound when playing those extremely quiet notes. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I strongly recommend anybody looking to spend the money on a good clarinet mouthpiece. They're roundabout where Vandoren's are, not too much more, I believe, but definitely worth the extra money. I would recommend anyone try them. So, thank you for watching. I apologize for the hum. You are watching me in a garage workshop with fluorescent lights because the kids are in bed, and I will definitely bring a lamp out here next time if you're hearing that hum. But thanks for watching. Hopefully next time I upload something, it will be a piece of music. Likely the first piece that I upload will be Alan Hoven's solo clarinet piece, but stick around. Thank you for watching.